open meeting laws, these meetings are subject to being recorded. I know we're being recorded because I saw them in the other room, so your image will be recorded.
And her
Okay.
voice, yes.
And
there
her
you go.
voice, the whole thing. It's image,
All of you.
right? Lucky us. Okay, now, can we approve the minutes from, that Eloise did last time?
Yes,
Is that a second?
yes.
Any discussion about the minutes? All those in favor of approving it, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Are we gonna reorganize?
We would love to reorganize, although that might be an argument that people don't want to sit through. But it would be great if somebody else, like the boys, would take on some management in this organization.
Not me.
The boys.
The boys.
Leave me-
Eloise and
leave me
I,
out.
right?
But you're doing such a good job.
But you know, and not being a wise guy, but you know the procedure of doing stuff. I don't.
I really just make it up. I'm happy to continue for one more year,
Okay,
but somebody's got to help Eloise. And last year, you guys split it.
yeah, but we didn't do a very good job of it.
Yeah, I know.
That's why Eloise took it over. She said, you guys are terrible.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we appoint Anna as the chairman.
Second it.
Any discussion? No, clearly not.
No.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 No, but it's fine. Okay, I make a motion, we appoint Steve as clerk,
Starting next time.
start next time.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Eloise?
All right?
Of course.
Okay. Somebody needs to second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
And I'm happy to help too, if, need agendas or what have you, when you get to that
If you,
place.
yeah, if you can
and-
help me with the meeting stuff and
Yes.
whether or not we're hybrid or not hybrid, and
I took
if
it off
there's-
to make it easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Roger goes, that's easier for me too. I said, me three, so okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing?
No.
CSX, can somebody talk to those people to clean up the mess on Crosby Road? When they
Crosby?
cross in the railroads, there's a mess everywhere around it. They left it for 2 years.
Are those the rail ties that are sitting out there that we think
I
are
see
CSXs?
The rails themselves,
Oh, the rails, okay.
and the broken trees and all that. It looks like hell. It's
I know
time for them
we've
to
talked to
clean up.
CSX. You
Yeah.
actually have the right person here.
Are those did they bring the trees down from the tornado damage down by Five Corners and brought it up there? Is that what it is? I haven't been by there recently to see.
Go by when Crosby Road crosses the
Yep.
railroad,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll go take some pictures of it and send it to the.
I live on that road, I watch that every day, so, okay, that's enough, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I ask one more thing too before, Ken?
I don't know, I only had one question, quota tonight.
All right.
All right, fair enough.
Just because I know we passed it at the last town meeting, the one spring, about the 5-member board.
Yes.
When does that go in effect?
So it's with the state right now. It's likely going to be in effect in '27.
Okay.
Because there was a timing issue, and we wanted to make sure we had time to advertise it, and Eloise had time to get it on the ballots, and it hadn't made its way through the legislature.
That's what I figured. Oh,
And
that's
the
what I figured.
fear was, does it come in April, and then we're obligated to try to have write-in candidates, and that would be
Yeah,
a
okay.
disaster.
No, that's
So,
fine.
Yeah, probably May annual town election in '27,
That's-
June, sorry.
I didn't want to elaborate. That's what I figured it was going to be because everything's a time factor. And
Right.
And
Are
our
you
state
ready?
doesn't move very fast.
No, they don't, they don't.
No.
And they're more than happy to slow down, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at our bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll suck it into that one.
I know.
I think we've got
Yeah,
our
we
library, we've got our library
It's a
person
capital
here.
project.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we gotta hear about it, but Victoria could go first, and then we can,
Absolutely.
uh,
Have bridge talk.
yes.
That's the hot seat there.
It is a hot seat. Come on and join us. Tell us what you want. I have a question first.
Okay,
Did you replace the door?
we're working on it.
Okay.
Fred started asking, reached out to the contractor July 1st. No answers. So
Wow.
I don't know why.
For that money, I'll do it.
It's, and it took, that was the third contractor we asked before got any quotes. And so then the one that gave us a quote.
Decided
don't know
not
what
to do
hap-
it.
Yeah, I don't know. So now,
They're
I don't
so
know if
busy, they don't
Fred-
care.
Yeah, I don't know if he's had a chance to talk to you yet, or,
About the door?
yeah.
No, not
We
to-
might have to put it out to bid, or,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I figured it might be headed in that direction, but
Yeah.
in all honesty, I'm having the same problem with the old fire station and the rescue building demo. I had 3 contractors become non-responsive after they came out to view it to give a quote and a scope of work. The 4th one finally came through, but it took them about 3 months to get
I
me
know.
the scope, and then it was non-prevailing wage, and I went, so I'm still struggling. So something's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
So-
is.
Don't
but
feel bad, it's everywhere. I'm having the same problem, so.
Getting people to want to do some jobs.
Yeah, even my company, I mean, we're just, can't get anybody. They're either too busy, or they throw you out a price that's so ridiculous that you can't afford to take them.
Right, which is basically like, we don't really want to do this unless it's going to really work out in
Yeah.
our benefit.
They'll throw out a number that, well, take it or leave it, we don't care.
Right, that's crazy. But yes, I will speak with Fred more.
Yeah.
We are meeting, I want to say Monday morning, so I'm imagining he may be saving it up for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, we've gone back and forth on it, so we are still high on my list. And
We we had that discussion, I don't
Oh, sure,
know,
yeah.
8 weeks ago, and I was like, I think it's new. I drive by, it looks like maybe it's a
We
different
got the
color.
parking lot done.
You
so-
did. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
the,
wall.
the
Yeah, but that's
retaining
'cause
walls
the
look
town did it.
lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Came
was
out
the
nice.
first retaining wall, by the way, Fred ever did, and he said he was really happy with how it
Yeah, it came- that
What
looks
has-
good.
Who did the
Yeah.
one at the transfer station? Or have we not done the one yet at the transfer
Are
station?
you talking about no, that has not gotten done for a number of issues. There was not enough funding to do a formal design. So Fred has been talking to consultants, and he actually finally found a website where he can input the information and figure out the stones and how many you need and how it should be organized. But
Because that was,
$25,000, so basically that just covers materials with highway doing the labor.
yeah.
And we got a quote initially back that was about $250,000 to do
What?
that retaining wall.
Hey,
So-
not to be rude, but we do have a time frame for this
Oh, yeah.
lady here, so we should be getting not off on that subject.
That is fair. So what would you like from us this year?
We would like some new computers. We have 6 computers that need replacing. They were all installed in the library in 2019. So as of 2026, they will be 7 years old, which is at least 2 years past their usable life. Most of them are running on Windows 10, which no longer is supported. And I don't know if they would survive if we upgraded them to Windows 11. They're already running pretty slow, so they can't really take a
You're looking
systems
for
upgrade.
6? You looking for 6?
6, yep. 4 are staff machines and 2 are public access. So we got a quote from, CM Geeks got a quote from Dell. It'd be $8,000 for the machines, $1,800 for their install. And then we need to get Microsoft Office, sorry, for all of them, which would be another $750. And then I did 10% increase for the cost of the machines, just because I don't really trust electronics costs right now, so just to be on the
$1,900 a
safe
computer?
side. Yeah,
And that's for each machine, that much? No.
total.
Together?
Yeah.
But it's $1,900 per unit.
Yeah.
Including the install fee, which is 3, right?
Yeah, but I'm
Well,
just
no,
saying,
it's-
I'm just saying, I took to her 11.5,
Oh, I got
and you divide it, so it becomes $1,900 per unit.
Cheap, yeah, everything's
Yeah.
That's-
crazy.
That's, well, I hope the real quote comes in for less money, because I think that's a lot of money. That
Well,
was
the-
Dell?
I have it's, the computers themselves, it's $1,200 apiece, $125-ish for the monitors, so $8,000 altogether for.
Did she say 125? You say 125 for a monitor?
Yeah.
You know about this?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, unless you're gonna buy one off of Amazon, but we either have to go through an authorized dealer that's on the state bid list, or then we have to go, I mean, and this includes installation, so CM Geeks, who is our managed service provider, we don't actually bank a cost for installation and setup of computers with them, because we'd end up paying for it some years and not needing it. So
tell you-
their charge is $300 a computer.
I'll tell you, being on the state list costs us more money than what we save.
It often does.
We don't save any money being off the state bidding list. None at all.
Like I said, I did 10% for the cost increase for the machines just in case, because
Will there
Who
be
knows,
software
but hopefully.
costs?
just the Microsoft Office, which we get through TechSoup. So, nonprofit cost, so it's cheaper than,
So it's
It
not a
might be, but-
subscription for the
No.
Microsoft Office, you
No.
just get to pay for it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah,
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 that's
we're
still
not,
the way
we're
to
not
go.
doing the, cloud
If you can do
service.
it.
Yeah,
We did it with, well, and CM Geeks is good about that, we needed an Adobe PDF,
Mhm.
and so they had us buy one license actually off of Amazon, because that doesn't update very often, rather than paying the
Yeah,
X amount per month for it. So
Yeah.
it was like a one-time $400 cost, and I've had it for 3 years,
yeah.
so.
Is there a reason you went with Dell?
I reached out to CM Geeks and asked them for their quotes, that's who they use.
Because I mean,
That's their provider.
yeah, but that's just, that they have more than one supplier, don't they?
That's who they predominantly use. It matches all the other computers in the town offices, so, makes it a little bit easier, I think, with, the way the computers are set
I'm
up.
not trying to make it easy, I'm trying to save money.
I understand.
And I will say my plan had been to replace these computers piecemeal over a couple of years and do it supplemental funding, and then Microsoft, or Windows ended support for Windows 10, so kind of,
No, I mean, I don't have a
Ruins
problem
that
doing it
thing.
all at once, I just have a problem with the
Yeah.
pricing.
I get.
That's why I
that,
said
yeah.
you could go with HP or Acer or any of those other ones.
Usually you try to standardize within the town, within the same types of computers. It does, they're spending less time working on things. They set everything up the same way.
Well,
so-
that's all software, that not necessarily is the computer and the monitors. That's just that's your software, your computers and monitors don't really, it takes the same stuff. And you can put the same software in a HP as you can in a Dell or in an Acer,
Yeah, oh, that's true.
you know? And your keypads are all the same.
Do you have any service contract or anything? No.
No,
you don't need
it's
it, yeah.
we're on the same one as the town.
Yeah,
so
if it
any-
fails, just dump it again the two.
Yeah, same
But
thing that the
usually they
town
don't
pays
fail,
for,
those
covers the
PCs
library.
last forever.
Yeah.
Will this be the same thing, they gotta get 3 quotes, or do you all just go with that one?
That's typically the way that we'll go, through CM Geeks, as that's their provider and their on-state bid. I mean, we can ask them if they
Yeah.
work with a different provider. I don't think they do. We'd be on our own to do that, so we can ask though.
I can check with CW Mars, our library consortium. I don't think they do any hardware acquisitions help, but I can check. Cool.
Money's tight.
We're having a lot of problems with those machines. which is,
Don't take me wrong.
No, I
I-
got you. I just
I
wanna
understand-
make
I
sure.
understand
we're
it. I
not
just
missing-
think-
Yeah.
I just, between you, me, and the hole in the wall, I think you're probably, I think you're $5,000 high. That's my opinion. And I'm just going by what we just paid for stuff.
What brand did you guys get?
HP.
Were they more cost effective than the Dell ones?
Basically, it was, pricing was totally, everything was pricing.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the Dell, I mean, I wouldn't even know if they went with Dell, it was HP and somebody else's. But HP just came through,
The best price.
yeah. But we have that leeway where you guys don't, so,
Boxes us in a little bit,
yeah.
but I think it's worth an ask. And,
Yeah, I'll reach out to CM Geeks and other libraries and see how they go about it.
Cool.
Take a look.
Yeah, that'd be cool, I'd appreciate that.
Definitely. Yeah. Anything else? That's all I got.
Not for me, yay, that's
Hey.
all you've got.
This year anyways.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
talk about next year.
No worries.
All right.
Although, we do ask for a 5-year plan.
Yes.
So at some point, if you have thoughts about what your 5-year plan
Yes, I
might
have
look
been
at.
working on it. It has been gathering things that we did in the past and trying to get it all together. But
Yeah.
I think I'm close to having it all worked out. So
Okay.
I can.
Well, when
I
you
can get
do,
that for you.
could you send it to Anna so
Definitely,
we
yeah.
can get it into our form and
Yep.
it almost looks like we know about it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been hunting down, past paperwork and
Mhm.
all that. It's been fun, but I'm almost there. I'll get it to you.
Okay, awesome, no worries.
All right.
Cool, thank
Thank
you
you
so
all.
much for swinging by at the end of your day.
No problem. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Okay, chief.
All right, I'm up.
Do we have to make a motion on this?
No?
No.
We're just gathering
it was
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got no numbers, right, Kristen?
Not yet.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, we can make no decisions, we just chatting with people.
You can always rank them if you'd like, and then, you know, you have at least a prioritization.
We always ask for ranking if it's more than one thing.
Makes sense?
Okay, chief, what's number 1 on your list?
All right, well, number 1 on my list is probably going to be the pulse oximetry replacements that I have listed there. They're called the RAD 57. They're very specific, and what they do is they measure the pulse oximetry for the amount of oxygen in your bloodstream, but also the really important side of that that it also does is it monitors for carbon monoxide as well. So by putting that finger probe on, if somebody has been exposed to carbon monoxide, it will automatically alarm and switch over and alert us that they have carbon monoxide in their blood system.
Do you know how that works?
No.
Okay.
I know it's the internal, basically the internal components of that and stuff that actually look at it and monitor it and stuff. It can monitor both. I know they have different, you know, with the technology they have with, like, on the cardiac monitors, with the capnography that can measure the amount of carbon dioxide that's coming out and stuff when you're breathing and stuff. We use that as well too, but it's all that scientific stuff that I don't know anything about from engineering.
It's just amazing to me that you put something on your finger and,
Yes.
you know, I know the oxygen is measured by the light, how it
Yes.
passes through your
Right,
finger,
yeah.
but how they're specific enough to say that it's carbon monoxide.
Yeah, and it's the same type of technology. It's that light that's going through, and somehow it does recognize it and stuff. And we've had multiple cases where we had people that have been exposed to CO but didn't realize it because it's tasteless, odorless, and colorless. We've had the units on the ambulance for probably a good 12 years, I'm going to say, on the truck. And they used to not be as expensive as they are, but now they're about just around $6,000 a piece for them. But they're both at the point where they're kind of failing and stuff, and they're not supported anymore, so that's why we're looking at replacing those.
what's the lifespan?
I put 15 years because we've gotten a good solid 12 years on this, and I expect to get the same on it.
It's a good payback.
Yeah. They've worked very well and stuff, and they're a very rugged machine. They're designed so that we can drop it and kind of, you know, have it out in the elements and stuff. And it doesn't seem, it's got a case and stuff, and it really does take a bit of a beating and stuff, and it survives very well, so.
I guess if you save somebody's life, it's a good, real good replacement.
Exactly. So yeah, that one's high on my priority list. The other two that I have on there, the forestry gear replacement and the fire turnout gear replacement, that is the rotation that I have going
No,
through,
no,
kind
no.
of replacing gear every year. For the forestry gear replacement, I know it says $60,000 in FY '28, but I don't think that I'm gonna need that, and I'm not sure. I didn't look at the paperwork. I don't know if I actually put that in 2028.
You did, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that one's not my sheet. I'm not sure. The sheets that I submitted, I have to go through and look.
Oh.
I don't think,
Oh, I think I saw that somewhere.
I won't need $60,000.
Oh, did I?
I'll need 100.
I thought that was on your sheet. I may have messed that up. That could have been me.
There's another one that I messed up, and that's the cardiac monitor and stuff that was supposed to be in this year's, and I do have it checked off for FY '29. So we'll talk about that momentarily, but
Yeah, I will make the correct update if you
Yeah.
want to.
that, I think we can probably take that $60,000 off there, because I'm currently, what I'm doing right now is I'm buying forestry gear for half the department right now. And this should give me the other half for next year to be able to replace everybody so that their forestry gear is up to date. And I expect that's gonna be good for a good 10 to 12 years on that as well before we have to replace anything there.
Are those custom fitted?
Not custom fitted, they are not as much as like the fire turnout gear is. These ones are more of a general size of like the large, extra large, and medium, versus being tailored to the exact size, chest, and length of your legs and stuff that we do with the fire gear to give complete coverage that way. These are a little bit more generic.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't we do something last year in regards to this stuff?
Yes, that was the
The initial year.
Yep.
The other half.
Okay.
We did half that went into, and I'm currently in the process of getting that right now. We
Okay.
ordered it and stuff to bring that in.
I thought that looked familiar.
Yep. And I don't think I'm gonna need it in FY '28, so we can probably cross that off the list. The other one that's listed is the fire turnout gear replacement, which I do every year, and that, obviously, everybody gets 2 sets of gear with all the carcinogens and stuff. That way, if their gear gets dirty, we have a fire or an incident, they can wash it, they have a second one to get in. Gear typically only lasts for 10 years before we're required to get rid of it by the recommendation of the codes and NFPA and stuff. The other thing that I'm throwing into this is, last year on a grant, I pretty much got a ballistic equipment for all of the EMTs and firefighters for any of what they call our ASHER events, which are actor shooter hostile event response calls that we might have to go to. We're doing a lot of training with that, which is mandated by the state. That ballistic equipment lasts about 5 years before it has to be replaced. So what I'm doing in this is I'm slowly trying to roll in to replace the ballistic equipment for the firefighters. We have some that didn't get it last year because we didn't have enough from the grant to buy everybody, but I increased the amount that I'm asking for the fire turnout gear. It's really PPE, personal protective equipment, and that's going to buy the ballistic equipment, which is a helmet and a kind of a bulletproof vest that they wear that says fire EMS on it, to basically differentiate them from a police officer, but just to start replacing that as those start to deteriorate because they only have a 5-year lifespan on them. So there's a slight increase over what I've been asking for the last couple of years, but that just incorporates that. And the last one that I need to, that $71,265 under the cardiac monitor that's in FY '29, I need to slide that over into FY '27 is what I'm looking for, and that's part of the ALS program that we're kind of looking at starting up. So if you remember, last month I came before you to talk about the AEMT program that we're sending our staff to, that will hopefully start after the first of the year. As we go forward, one of the things they have the ability to be able to do with that is to attach the monitor to look for a cardiac event, or as you heard, like a STEMI MI is what they refer to if you hear them talking about it in the medical field. These monitors kind of pick up on that. They recognize a STEMI, and the staff can start looking for that when they put it on for the monitor to rule out, basically cardiac events, if it is a heart attack or not, based on what's showing up on the monitor. The monitors also monitor for a lot of other things for vital signs. They do the capnography that we refer to, which is the exchange of gases, your CO2 that gets released, which for a lot of patients with respiratory problems, what we found in the last 10 years is the CO2 that is exhaled is a better indicator of how the breathing is going. It reacts quicker to the treatment or to the condition. If somebody has COPD or asthma, we found that with the pulse oximetry that may be normal, but their capnography may actually be either elevated or decreased based on what's going on, and that's more indicative. It allows us to treat them quicker and recognize that quicker. So a lot of that goes into what this monitor does, which our staff will be able to do after passing that AEMT program. And it's also the same equipment that if we make the determination to go to the paramedic level in the next couple of years, this would be the same monitor that we'd use for the paramedics. So we wouldn't have to, if you will, buy additional monitors at that point when we got paramedics on the department. Obviously, I'm a paramedic. I just can't operate at that level, but I can use the monitor in that capacity. So looking to kind of put that on the ambulance, hopefully in July, August timeframe, if this was to pass at town meeting and stuff, just to allow our staff to be able to treat patients and recognize that. One of the benefits to that is that if there's nothing going on with the patient, they can start the IV, they can give some of the fluids, there's some medications they can give. But we have such a shortage of paramedics, it can also release a paramedic from our call to respond to someone else who actually needs that is having an MI, where we can monitor and look at it and say there's actually no MI going on here. We're going to give some fluids and transport at the AEMT level to the hospital.
That's one monitor or several?
That's one monitor, and I would probably look at in FY '28 or FY '29 getting a second monitor to put on the second ambulance, so each ambulance was able to, have the ALS capabilities.
It's expensive stuff, though.
It's very expensive stuff. It's, and this, and I'll be honest with you, doing this for 32 years now, after what happened with COVID, to see the prices that things went up is just, it's kind of disheartening to see how much apparatus has increased. I think pre-pandemic levels, the same monitor probably would have been around $48,000.
Is that the 71 now?
Yeah, that's the 71,265.
So we're moving that up to
I'm looking to buy it in FY '27.
And then maybe fiscal year 29, so keep it in there.
I'm
yeah.
gonna,
So, yeah, so I mean, it is a little disheartening to see how much this equipment has increased, because it makes it sometimes unattainable for you to be able to buy.
it's crazy.
Yeah. There are 2 quotes that I supplied with it. The one is from a company called Zoll, which is out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts, is actually where they're headquartered out of. The other one is, it's called a Life Pack, and I think it's by Philips, if I remember correctly, but they're both roughly the same amount of money. They're right around $71,000. I think I put in the highest cost there, which was the $71,265, which is the Life Pack, and that's the one everybody else around us uses right now.
That's the Striker?
It might be, actually, yeah, I think that is.
Striker.
Yep, okay, that is the one.
71,264.
Yep. The Zoll unit, I think, is a little bit cheaper, and, again, this is gonna be one of those things I would meet with the vendors and stuff to, my personal preference is probably gonna be the Zoll, because I've used them in the past. It's a local company. They have phenomenal support, for their product, and I find it much easier to use, but at the same time, it's not compatible with a lot of our mutual aid partners as well, so that would be.
It's all local company.
It is, that's the one that's out of Chelmsford.
That's the priority one, or the Striker?
Stryker is the one that's the most expensive
But
one.
what is the best?
My personal opinion is Zoll.
Okay.
Now, I say that they just came out, the monitor that I have in there is their brand new one that just got rolled out and approved by the FDA about a month ago. So again, it's one of those things I would play around with to kind of look at who can give us the best deal, what Zoll can do for us versus Stryker and stuff, and come up with the best one that would be used for us. And
The reason I mentioned Striker, because they're just so huge in medical stuff there. They have like 1,900 patents or something
Yeah.
like that.
They have, they have a structure that we use on the ambulance and a stair chair, which, they're phenomenal pieces of equipment, but they kind of own the market on it. It's a phenomenal product. It's a power lift system that, the injuries that it saves on for back injuries and actually blown bicep tendons and stuff from lifting patients up is huge. But the cost of them, again, they're very expensive, but they kind of own that market because nobody else has anything close to what they have.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it, you say they're very expensive, but what does it cost you to lose somebody in medical and then lose them out of your,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can tell you for a blown, that bicep tendon from lifting, when that gets torn or blown and they go through the surgery, it's kind of like having the rotator cuff and stuff. Usually they're out for anywhere from 9 to as much as 18 months, depending on
Yeah.
the rehab injury and stuff. And to your point, when you add in the training that they lost, the training somebody else bringing in replacements for them, overtime and everything else, it's close to $150,000 for that period of time for the cost that
Yeah.
to replace them. So, yeah. It does pay for itself, because when you lose a couple people like that, it's huge.
you hate to look at it that way, but that's
Yep.
what's, spending money sometimes saves you money.
Yes. So those are the ones that I've identified for FY '27.
So you want to rank them in order of choice? You said the Pulse Ox was your number one.
One.
What's your
Yes.
number two?
Number 2 would probably be, and this is a tough one because if we're going ALS, number 2 would probably be the cardiac monitor, but that's something that we're still in discussions at the select board level. And I'm looking at that. That is something that I can use regardless of whether or not we go to the paramedic level. So that's my number 2, I think, to go with that for the AEMTs to be able to.
Cardiac.
Yep. Number 3 would be that fire turnout gear replacement, or PPE as I referred to, just because that's really the bread and butter of what we do from the fire side, along with that ballistic equipment. And then the last one would be the forestry gear. I could get by if that didn't happen. I can make do with what we have.
What's Forestry 1 replacement?
Forestry 1 replacement, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys, because I apologize, because I have a huge number in there. We talked last year about having a bigger truck, And I went through, I tried to figure out what kind of bigger truck we could have, and I don't know if I brought the picture
I
up.
think I'm the one that told you
Yeah.
that the one you were looking for was too small.
Yes, so I went through and that $585,000 one is a custom-built four-seat truck. It's a wildland interface truck, which, if I had a picture of it, you guys have probably seen it on the news. They use them out in California and Colorado, Utah for the huge, the 1,000-acre fires that the government response teams and the local response teams out there have. They probably carry about 500 to 800 gallons of water and stuff. They're a very high truck. They're good for like water rescue for flooding and stuff that you can use them for too, but they're super expensive. So that's what I thought you guys were looking at. And then as I was talking to my staff, they were kind of mentioning, they were like, no, they were like, Chief Clark was looking at one point in time of one of the old state trucks and stuff that he was
Yeah.
looking at, and I was like, okay. So the $585,000 was that big truck, or actually I take it back, it wasn't the big truck, that one was almost $800,000. The $585,000 was a F-550 with a custom-built back-end truck on it and stuff that had reels and everything. Kind of did the same thing, but more closer to what we have right now with that pickup truck style, just bigger, could be used a little bit more.
A little overkill for us, isn't it?
Yes. So what I did do is I found this, which some of you may be, and I'm going to pass that around, but that's the proposal I finally found from Chief Clark. And I was able to, you can flip through and there's pictures of the truck he was looking at.
He was looking
Yes.
at like a used army truck.
Yes, so that's what I finally found out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this makes sense. Local manufacturer out of Hopkinton called Bulldog Fire Apparatus is the one that said that for, I believe the number in there is $53,000, they can build the back, put a water tank and a pump on it for us and stuff. That number has gone up because that was kind of like the pre-COVID numbers and stuff, so that's probably closer to the $100,000 mark. But we're kind of working with that, but trying to find one of those chassis is that's a little challenging right now, because I think what Chief Clark was looking to do is back when he had submitted that, they had some of those vehicles that were available through the state surplus and federal surplus program. Those have all kind of been halted with the local state of government that we have, and there's not much available right now.
Let me ask you a simple
Yeah.
question. Do we really need it?
Yes and
Because
no.
this terrain is, it's all mountains.
Yep.
It's not Utah's or
Correct. It's a
California.
great truck that could be utilized in a lot of different ways. I think that would be a truck we would probably use that truck a lot on mutual aid calls to other communities. And I almost dare say we might use it more on mutual aid than we use it in our own town. One of the things that we have in town is having a quick response vehicle that can get off the road onto some of the smaller trails, into the fields and stuff like that. Having that pickup truck style that can quickly make that and kind of get over the terrain that we have, knocks that fire down fairly quickly for us so it doesn't become a big one. And I kind of struggle with as we develop things, and the roads are a little bit better, off-road, it's a little bit better, and we have the UTV that can get into like 40 caves, and in some areas of Mount Pisgah, it can get onto some of those trails if a fire starts there. I'm not sure a truck like that would be able to get into Mount Pisgah the way it is right now, just because we don't have trails open to us or fire lanes open to us. And a truck like that would never, even the pickup truck won't make it into 40 caves. So it's kind of I hate to say that we wouldn't use a truck like that, because if there was if somebody had donated a truck like that, or we got it, if you will, through a grant or something like that, it probably would be beneficial and useful. But using taxpayer money and stuff and spending it on something that big may be a bit of overkill. Now, having said that, the other side to this is if I'm getting a used chassis that's being built, it may actually be cheaper to build that versus having to buy a brand new chassis and a brand new skid unit that would go on the back for a forestry truck, because all of that's brand new and it's more expensive when you start adding that up. I mean, you're looking at a chassis alone for that pickup truck style would probably be about $80,000 to $90,000, and then the buildup of everything else with the skid unit could be another $80,000 as well. I don't know exactly. I haven't had the time to dig into that because I just found that proposal the other day and kind of figured out what we were looking at, and I was like, oh, okay, I went way too far with the custom-built truck that I was looking at that I thought we were talking about.
Does
So
anybody, the neighbors have anything like that?
Closest one, as a matter of fact, Ashland, just recently, they had something very similar to that, and they just got a brand-new pickup truck style one that they did that has that skid unit in the back. And I'm actually reaching out because I'm trying to find out if that unit is going back to DCR, or if that's available for us if we wanted to have it, if we could get it. And so I'm reaching out to them to find out if I can get that chassis. So, again, this is I haven't narrowed anything down on this, so I can't come up with solid numbers for you on that. I put it in there just because it's a placeholder.
I call it a wish list.
Yeah, pretty much. And here's where I'm at, where money's so tight, I kind of have it on that capital list as we look, because the current truck we have is a 2009. We've had some problems with it and we've kept it up with maintenance and stuff. And right now, it is working for us. And obviously, if something breaks, I'll maintain it and keep it going. But just having that as a placeholder and having that number in there, obviously, I'm going to adjust this for next year when I come back to you, but it's not anything that is solid at this point. So I apologize, because what I was thinking wasn't what Chief Clark had come up with, and I kind of missed the mark on that. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and come up with different things.
Yeah, because when you came in the last year, I was thinking you should be up like an F-350.
Yep.
With higher, so you can go over rocks and stuff
Yep.
like that. Because I just
Yep.
I just thought what you had before was just too small.
Yep, and to your point, the F-350 or higher, would be able to get over those rock walls and
Yeah.
some of those rough terrains with the gullies and stuff, where the pickup truck that I was doing
Yeah.
with the Silverado wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, so I'll come back, that's on there, but obviously, pay no attention to it, there'll be a different number for next year.
Let me tell you my
It's easy to
story of
cross this one out.
forest fire trucks. When I was up in New Hampshire, our forest fire truck was a 1-ton international 4-wheel drive. You know what our pumps were? Indian backpacks. So it was
Yes.
5 down each side.
Yep. Yep, we have those, and you remember the big metal ones, is that what they used to be?
Yeah.
We have soft packs now, which it's amazing, because a lot of the younger guys have no idea what those metal ones used to be like, but they're soft packs, they're made out of fabric and
They
stuff.
were heavy.
And you can carry those into the woods, and then you can fill them once you get to the scene, as opposed to the ones he's talking about that were heavy, they were metal, you had to fill them before you left, because
Oh.
there was no way to fill them out in the woods
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah, so we've
You
come
go
a
out
long
there and
way.
you have them on your back and you
Yep,
pump them.
Hubbard,
yeah.
Yep.
Man.
what's wrong with that? No.
We were,
Yeah.
when I was in high school, we were
Welcome to Berlin.
we were deputy fire wardens up in Lisbon, New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah, yep,
You were Littleton.
yes, I was,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah, you can ignore that one.
Okay.
And obviously, the $28,000, I'm just carrying that forward on the fire turnout gear. The UTV replacement, I have that in there just because the UTV that we have now is, I talked about it last year, it's underpowered, and it can't fit on the railroad tracks now with the rails that they increased on. I did reach out to CSX to ask them about anything that they could do to help, and I never heard back from them. So I will continue to pester them for that.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah. The $60,000, there is I believe I put it in there. There is a truck or a Polaris unit that's in there that comes equipped and stuff.
I think I saw that.
It's like $56,000 or $57,000 when I finally got it, but that's why I put the $60,000 in there. Again, I kind of put it in there as a placeholder, looking at, obviously, you guys have the bigger look on what's going on. That one, again, can get bumped down the road, but I also looked at it that if there was another department or another place in town that was in need of a UTV for something, that might be a good one to give to them and be able to upgrade ours to
Is
one
that
that's...
the one that you're quoting?
Yes, that's the one right there. Yep.
It was 54.5.
Yeah. But again, that's not a high priority because we have one that we're using. We had a couple tire issues where we blew the tires trying to get through on the railroad tracks when there was a couple fires that we had out off of the tracks.
Well, how does the railroad people ride on the tracks?
They have vehicles that, if you look when they come in with their vehicles, there are, what's the best way to describe it? It's the railroad tracks. They fold down on the truck and literally lift it up, and it goes down on the tracks, and they go down the tracks.
Just like a train, they
Yeah.
have the same wheels that a train has, with the ridges so it doesn't go off the rails.
Yep. And believe it or not, there was a fire truck manufacturer that actually made fire trucks that would do that, and obviously they were very expensive to buy, and nobody bought them just because they were, the
Too
technology, they were too
and
expensive.
you
and
might use it once every 5
Correct.
years.
Yep, so.
Okay, go
Yeah.
on to car 2 replacement.
Car 2 replacement, I put that in there in FY '29, FY '30. That's the one we took over from the PD 2 years ago. And I believe that one's the 2019 Ford Explorer. And it's working out pretty well for us right now and stuff, but the mileage is up on it. It's up over 100,000 miles. And it's just one of those things, kind of anticipating that out as maintenance comes on it and stuff. It is the hybrid vehicle, which has worked out very well, so that we're not using the pickup truck for all of the inspections and errands and anything that needs to happen. It cut down on our fuel consumption with that and stuff. But just, again, throwing that on the radar of that's gonna be out there. It may be able to be pushed out to FY '30 or FY '31, depending on what the car's in. I just looked at it from a standpoint of it's getting close to 10 years old at that point, and the mileage being up on it and stuff, and that's why I threw the number there, just because that was the 10-year mark. But again, kind of open on that, just kind of throwing it out there as it's there, just to be aware
Well,
of.
they tend to get a cruiser every year, so can you,
There is a potential of doing that. I have not talked with Kristen about that, but
I
that's,
stole one.
Kristen, I'm talking, listen,
Yes, I stole one already that maybe would have gone to you, for inspectional
okay.
services.
Oh, yes, that's the one, yep, okay.
Yes, I do apologize,
No.
but being able to have a vehicle and being able to do a regional inspectional services when the building inspector retires will save us about $20,000 a year. So, and we have the vehicle. So that made sense. But
Yeah.
future, I mean, it's
It-
every
it's-
year.
But in the
Yeah.
next 3 years,
Yeah,
Yes.
we can
this is looking.
steal another one.
Yep, looking out at FY '29, FY '30 is what we're looking at there, or actually not FY, it's probably gonna be calendar year, so it may be further than that, just because that puts it at the 10-year mark, but as we keep an eye on that, I may come for additional cash to outfit the vehicle, only because we'll need to put the command box in the back and the tools that we use and kind of re-letter it. But yeah, it'll be much cheaper than buying a new one. And I put in the if you will, the estimate that I put in was just Chief Shartner's one that he was doing for the new cruiser he was getting this year, because it's gonna be about the same, and that's why I was like, I'm not gonna recreate the wheel and have everybody calling me saying, hey, what do you wanna build? What do you want for a car? How about we sell you this? I get them on a regular basis anyway, but that's why that one's in there like that, so.
Dizzle. Didn't I see isn't that Colonial?
Yes, or was it MHQ? I can't remember.
I saw one for Colonial here, quote.
That could have been the one.
Where's the other chief?
I don't have his.
Yeah.
oh, behind you, on the chair.
Sleeping right behind you.
Ah, there she is.
Yep.
Did you teach her to sleep on those chairs? Because she does it all the time.
She does. I have the same chairs in my office, and she has taken up. There's actually a blanket that sits on one of the office, and she actually will sit on the chair. And that's, I think, when I first got her. I'm trying to remember if we were someplace in an office, and she jumped up on the chair and slept there as a puppy. And since then, that's become her thing, and she loves to do it.
She curls up so small.
Yeah.
She does, I know. She fits herself right in one of those
Yeah.
seats.
She looks very happy.
Do you mind if I take a picture?
Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, I think those are those are the things that I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you take out the 585 and the 60,000, it doesn't look quite so bad.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, when I looked at the number, I was like, wow, that's a lot for next year. And then I looked up, I was like, holy cow. I was like, that's me. But yeah, that 585 will come to, we can strike that all together and stuff, and I'll come back with something different.
Cool. I like that.
Kristen, could you tell me how much is in capital planning? I mean, public safety mitigation as of today?
I cannot, because that comes in with free cash as well.
Okay.
But I have June working on an estimate, so we're getting very close there to getting our paperwork for the certification complete. I believe she's about close to pressing the button, so hopefully, when is your next meeting?
That's an excellent question.
Okay,
Someday soon.
I would think by someday soon, we probably have something for you, how's that? It's always the $1 million question, literally.
Anybody have any other questions for?
Nope.
Yep.
I'm good.
Happy to answer anything.
Nope, I think we're good with you for tonight,
All right.
at
Thank you.
least until next
Thanks,
time.
chief.
No,
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you, guys. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Stay warm.
I'm gonna try to.
Ah.
Keep Fia warm.
Yeah. You ready to go home there, little girl?
She looks so comfortable. If you wanna leave that, chief, I'll bring that back, the
All right,
toy, if
yeah.
you want.
Thank
She
you.
has her own set of toys in my office
course.
as well, because we lost our big dog last year, so we don't have
Oh,
any
so
big
sorry.
ones, so. I'm happy to share the joy with her.
There you go.
Yeah, see if she's gonna follow me or not. I have a habit, I leave my office when we start to go, and she'll run down the hallway to go to the door to leave, and then I get stopped, I talk to somebody, and she comes back, and she gets annoyed and goes and lays back down in my office, and we'll find some, and it's
So
like.
she's like, are you really leaving?
Yeah, so it's like one of those things, that I get up and everybody talks to me, she's like, you're not really leaving, she just sits there staring, and she's
That's all
like,
the time.
I'll take you home.
she's like, I know
Right.
better. You ready to go? You wanna come?
She's like, is it really happening?
Yeah.
Not really.
You gotta go.
Take your toy.
Come on, sweetie, you wanna go home? She doesn't believe me.
I suppose.
Bye, Fia. Good night, sweetie. Good night.
Take your toy.
Look before you go.
There you go.
Big
We're all,
shake.
Yep.
we're all set now.
Yeah,
There you go.
see you in the morning, huh?
Yeah.
Steve, see you in the morning.
Bye. Okay, we don't necessarily have any more official business, but I would love to review some of our previous capital items, like the bridge,
Yeah.
the transfer station retaining wall apparently, because that was an emergency meeting funding
I
like
thought it was
2
on
or
the
3 years ago.
Capital.
Wasn't there
plan.
something else?
Um,
Because it was like gonna fall over.
well, I will follow up with Fred. The last time I talked to him, I'm not going to explain this properly, but there was some type of program, and I believe that he used it to help with the library retaining wall as well, that architecturally you can build it out yourself rather than paying an architect.
Yeah,
And Fred is always of the mindset of, let's go the most cost-effective route, which is wonderful. So let me follow up, and I can send you all an email on the retaining wall. But I can speak to the other one.
okay, the bridge.
Yes, so I have really good news about the bridge, and you're getting a sneak peek because it's actually coming out in the Powderhouse News this coming issue. We have a lovely picture of Fred with the Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll being awarded $1 million MassWorks grant so that we can do the bridge. So we have a $500,000 small bridge grant matched with the $1 million grant. The cost with escalation was up to 1.3 when this project started several years ago. They believed the bridge could be done for somewhere between $700,000 to $800,000, and by the time design was all said and done and changes that have happened in the past 4 years or 3 years since the bridge was shut down, it came in higher at the 1.3. So the great news is we asked for $800,000 to meet the 1.3, and they gave us a little bit extra. So I'm really excited. Fred found the grant. We worked with CMRPC to apply for it, and Ann Goby, who is the rural director for the governor, supported our application because Berlin has never received a one-stop grant before, and so we're very excited. So we are still waiting for our design approval at the state.
I thought this was all supposed to start this fall. That was what we heard last time.
It sure was. There has been a 1.5 year delay at Mass DOT, and I've actually reached out to our state legislators yesterday to ask for their assistance because they keep having a changeover in staffing. So what we thought were the final 2 comments that needed to be addressed have gone back and forth about 4 times.
Jeez.
And then they put a new reviewer on who came back with new comments last week. So
Never end this.
this is a Chapter 85 approval on the design that needs to be done before we can put the project out to bid for construction. So I have now enlisted the assistance of Senator Kennedy and Rep. Kilcoyne's office because something's going on at Mass DOT and we need to get this through. We've waited way too long.
Can local reps help anything to push with this thing?
They have, so I've learned this, they have special contacts at each of the agencies, like the top dogs that we can't necessarily access. So I'm hoping that they will be able to push it through. I mean, we've tried to work through it directly on our end with the engineering firm and with DOT, and neither one of us are getting anywhere. So it's really unfortunate. It just seems to be a change of staffing. At one point, this was in the very beginning, somebody had left and they left it on their desk, and it got overlooked for a period of time. And they told us that it was in process, and then later on they said, oh no, we got your grant mixed up with somebody else's. It's not actually in process yet.
So afterthought is terrible, but we should have put down the steel plates.
Well, we
Yeah.
certainly didn't anticipate that it would take this long.
Well,
but
you guys knew it was gonna be a year.
Well, not 3 or 4 though.
I know, but
That's certainly.
For a
Right.
year, for the inconvenience, we should have,
They were very expensive, and that was a hard decision
You
to
can rent 'em.
make. Yep, I think it was almost $23,000 for the plates. So, yes, in hindsight, which is always 2020, if we realized it was going to take 4 years, I think the plates would have made a
Right,
lot of
that's
sense.
ridiculous.
But
well, history proves always it comes back to bite you in the butt. Because Jones Road Bridge took us 4 years. I mean, if you look at all the bridges around town, Hudson's bridges took 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
It's that way all the time, hindsight.
Bolton did a bridge in like 3 months.
That's right.
my guess is they paid for it themselves.
That's
Somebody
right.
brought that up recently.
Why don't
Or
we
it
just
had a
get
lot more usage.
Jones Road Bridge designed and put it over there? The same broke 200 feet away, or 100 yards, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what gets me ill? It gets me. This is not even the primary bridge.
No.
It's a secondary. The primary goes over North Brook.
Right.
This is a spillway bridge. It's not even the primary one.
The other issue with the plates were that the town would have to assume all liability if anything happened. The state was
I would have
washing their
fallen
hands
through.
of it. God forbid.
Just,
So-
just saying.
Yeah, this took the liability off of the town.
Okay, can you explain where we stand on the transfer station? Something about we have to finalize it?
All the state inspections for the test holes and all that stuff.
Holes and stuff like that.
It's in process. Paul McKelk is working with Ty and Bond. He actually came up today because DEP was out and there was a chemical that needed to be purchased and applied somewhere, so we were able to help him with that. It's not going to be a fast process. We're hoping to
No, I
have
didn't think that
pricing
would be.
for May town meeting. But DEP is working with us, which is really good. We're one of the smaller communities that
More
sort of fell off
manageable.
the radar, and now they have some new staffing, new rearranging, and they are looking at all the towns that haven't previously been touched. So we weren't singled out in any way. And I spoke to the regional director for DEP about this. She's very reasonable. She says all they want to see is that we're making progress, and
I
they will
think-
work with us on
Didn't
timelines.
Princeton get nailed too in
A
Paxton?
whole
Or
bunch of small communities did. Yep. So it wasn't just us. So
they
unfortunately,
finally just caught up to us.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. It finally caught up to us. So now they've done the required annual, there's 2 components to it. There was some testing that had to be done at the transfer station for an annual inspection. That has been done and passed with DEP, so now we're dealing with the landfill portion.
Yeah. Did the landfill, which was Hudson's but is in Berlin, did that ever get closed off?
I am not sure, but it is not ours, which is good news. We
Right,
found
but it's
out
in
from
Berlin.
DEP. It is, but it's not under our jurisdiction. It is owned by the town of Hudson.
Oh.
So,
Yes, they
Where
bought it
is
for
it?
water.
off of Gates Pond?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So whatever DEP requires for that will not fall on us.
Okay, good.
This is sort of our one big
Okay,
fish.
can you bring us up to date on the school, just,
Oh,
Well, I can tell you that I took the roof off because it passed at fall town meeting. And I have not had the opportunity with the schools to sit down and discuss these with Al like I have on the town side. I imagine they will be coming before you for information at some point in the near future. I can tell you the BMS cost seems reasonable. The Tohoto cost is high, even our portion of it, and that is largely due to the parking lot expansion, which I understand is quite controversial. The schools did receive a $100,000 earmark from the FY26 state budget, but my understanding is that goes to design, because all they have right now is a basic design that a parent put together. So my question was, does that 100 come off the 650? But it does not. So I don't know, other than going to the towns, what their plan is to help offset that, because to me, that's an astronomically large number to provide parking spaces for seniors that don't have parking
Yeah.
spaces.
Where's
that seems
this?
more like a privilege at Tohoto. They're
That-
out of senior parking.
He said
Take
it
the
was
bus.
staff.
Oh, is it
parking.
staff? I'm sorry, I thought it was for the,
And
Or
some students.
take a bicycle.
And they can
How many
use it
spots
for
do they
events.
that I don't know, but apparently the incoming classes have more students and they're not able to provide parking for everybody. So they're looking at, I believe it was something across the street, but they can speak more to that. There's a parking garage that was discussed as well, so I don't know where they've landed with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, across the street though, the towns don't own that. That's farmland.
It is.
I'm not sure on that then. That was my understanding, but let's ask them when they.
And
when
that's
they
a busy
come.
street to be like, hey, seniors, park over there and then dart across the street.
Hey,
Yeah,
seniors,
no.
carpool.
Maybe,
Uh-huh.
maybe it was adjacent as opposed to across the street. I could be misspeaking on that one, but I do not have all the details there.
That's fair.
I think adjacent to that is
I
actually
feel like we've gone over
Mass
this.
Water Resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
I
sides
know.
of the school, Mass Water Resources.
They
Well,
did,
that's why it's a very sensitive area.
Yeah.
correct, and they did do a site walk back in the summer with the state legislators, Mass Water Resources, both towns, and just to look at it, I understand, so.
What is the minimum amount for a capital project?
$10,000 with a useful life of 5 years or more.
Okay, the AC unit replacement, for us it's 6,000. Does that matter?
Well, the
No,
whole
because
budget's 17.
The actual item is 17. I would say you'd look at the actual cost of the item, and also with the schools being kind of lumped in as a part of the operating budget, I think you look at the total cost as a whole as well.
Okay.
But it's a good question. I'm not used to, I've learned now after 3.5 years, believe it or not, that regional schools are different. We used to actually we had a school department in my former community, so they
They
work
are a
just
different
like,
animal.
they're such a different animal, and they work just like a town department. Like fire comes in, the schools come in, and it's a whole different ball game. So, and we
Yeah,
used
they're
to
not
just give them a
arrogant like
number.
what we have.
Well,
I was on the
Oh,
school
did I say that?
committee.
you were on how long were you on the school committee for?
3 years, 83 to 86.
Was that enough after 3 years? You were good?
My husband said, you go on and I'm gone.
Well, that's a good enough reason.
So, but some people in Berlin said, would she be we think she'd be a good selectman, so I became a selectman for 6 years.
See, there you go. Gives you a vast
You should be
breadth
again.
of knowledge.
Huh?
Select one again, do it again.
We are going to 5,
In my lifetime?
I hope. Are you going to be here in 2 years? You will be, I'm
One
sure.
never knows.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Can't imagine
Oh, God,
Eloise not
I hate it.
knitting.
Let me know when these guys are coming in so I can be sick.
Yeah.
Mental
That's
note,
up to you all. I don't
hide
know.
the,
I
school
have
stuff.
one last question. It says staff and student devices, 50,000 at Berlin. Staff and student devices, 46,908 at Tohoto. When you are in the 5th grade, do you bring your
nope.
stuff up to Tohoto?
No,
I don't believe so.
no, I asked them that last year. They get it, and then they get it through their elementary, And then by that time they leave,
Come
it's,
back.
it's gone, and somebody gets the new stuff, so it works its way up.
Well, I have a great-granddaughter in 5th grade, so I was curious.
Yeah.
No, she gets a new one when she goes to middle school.
Okay.
I remember I asked that question last time because I couldn't understand why they were only good for 3 years.
Because somebody decided they're only good for 3 years. And then somebody said, why do we have trash floating in the ocean?
I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, but if you were in the school business, then you'd look at something else and say, oh, I'm in the wrong business.
Grass is always greener, right?
No, it's just well, I've been doing the same thing for 48 years. Same thing. And I always say that when I go for quotes or when I stuff like that. I keep saying that for 48 years. I'm in the wrong business. I see what the heating guys get, like RAC units, and it's unbelievable. What if-
When we get this updated, can that be put in order?
That would be up to them.
Priority.
Yeah, but they just gave us an order of what their priority.
For the schools?
No,
No, no.
I'm
Fire.
on to the
Fire.
fire.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I can do that. Yep, I wrote that down. So I will
Thank you.
update the fire with the order. Do you have an order for police?
That's 1 and 2, and I was trying to figure out from my notes what was 3 and 4. I think the long rifles were 4.
That was off
That was
until,
police.
yeah,
Yes.
but that was off for 28, right?
Yeah, long rifles are 4, so whatever the third one is 3.
Long rifles are 4, so that means the mobile radio upgrade would be 3.
Yeah, you are correct.
Can
To me, I
steal
would've-
you
I
on
wish
the
I was
number
here for
again
that,
in a
because I would've
minute?
fought that
As
one.
soon as I write those numbers down before I forget them.
That's exactly why
rifle.
I'm asking you.
The guys can't hit the broadside of a barn with them.
Yep, and that's what I have too. The cardiac was 2. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I don't know enough
Yeah.
about them.
We used to, when I was at the gun club, we used to have Acton Police used to come up, qualify at our range. And our guys that shoot tournaments and stuff like that would sit back and say, you guys want some instruction on how to shoot? Couldn't hit anything.
Couldn't hit anything.
Any other capital, CPA, community preservation, what sort of projects do they have going on that we need to be?
I don't know. They had their first meeting to review projects, from what I understand, earlier this week. I will tell you that the select board did put in a grant application to repair the historic clock that is in the First Parish Church that is owned by the town.
Huh?
That's
Yeah.
always been.
Owned by the town.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until I learned recently. So,
Oh,
and the
I could've told
flagpole
you
is
guys
owned
that.
by
And
You
the
the
town.
have to
flagpole-
remember that when these were initially started, the same people who were the fathers of the church were also the government fathers.
Right, and then
I-
we got separation of church and state.
That's
and
right.
all
Yeah, but
things
that didn't
changed.
happen
Yeah,
until
yeah.
1850.
See, there you go.
So, how did we still end up owning the church? That doesn't make any sense.
We don't
We
own the
don't
church,
own the
just the
church,
clock.
just the clock.
Just the clock?
Correct.
Yes.
And we did all the research. June helped me pull all of the paperwork.
Why does
Again,
that not
Oh,
make
I
sense
have
to
all
me
the
either?
paperwork
Do you?
that you
Okay.
had.
I've scanned it all in now.
When
mean-
we first started this, we made a list of everything.
I would,
so
I mean, I
it's-
think
an
it's
asset
great
list,
that we
yeah.
fixed the clock. I've always said that.
Well, if you have anything else on the clock you want to send my way.
I'm not
I have
sure
no
if I
idea
want
what
it
I
to
have,
chime
but-
every
Okay.
half
But I'm
hour.
No,
happy
no,
to bring
but
it up.
folder.
to make it
Yeah,
work.
I got
make
a,
a copy.
I got a
'cause
drawer full.
So I was,
Lisa's
I was gonna
really
say,
into this.
Yeah.
because,
I know when I was a selectman, Bill Wheeler went up to a clockmaker up in New Hampshire because they had the same clock that
Mechanism,
we
yeah.
did. But he said, I don't do it anymore. And it was like, oh,
there's a guy in Winchendon,
Well, there's,
out in Winchendon somewhere, he's an antique clock collector and aficionado, they call him.
Does he do repairs?
I don't know, I'll have to find it out.
Okay, because I know Lisa got a couple of quotes, and then when she went to CPA earlier this week, they actually asked her to get a quote they loved the project from what I understand, and they asked her to get a quote to get the chime working again.
Uh-oh, you
I'd
don't like
love to hear
that.
the bell.
I wouldn't hear it up on Randall
Oh, I've
Road.
missed the bells with the
Yeah.
church
I
being broken.
missed the bells.
I miss the bells
Um,
all summer long.
I had to go to the clockmaker because when we had the crank ballot box, it broke, you know, the bell that dings.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a clockmaker, but he did the ballot box on the side.
That's neat.
Nice.
Tell you what,
Thank
I-
God I had
happened to-
James, he
we
had
had
to
a
care.
list of buildings and we're gonna get rid of them.
Select board's still deciding.
Yeah,
Um,
still,
So the old fire station and rescue buildings are going to go. We have funding in place. I had, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
4 contractors finally, and now I'm still revising the quote that I finally got. They are discussing, or Legion Hall, as you know,
Right.
went to the housing trust, the Affordable Housing Trust. They're discussing the old highway barn. There's an actual barn, if you didn't know that
Yeah.
they're talking about repurposing potentially for a pavilion down on South Commons, not the one that was bought at town meeting, or authorized or appropriated at town meeting, but to see if there's a potential to salvage that.
What barn? Wait,
The
so
old highway barn
using the old highway barn as a pavilion?
as a second pavilion.
Second pavilion.
I'd like to see the highway barn used for historical commission.
Well, they have the Bullard House.
Yes, for some things that need to be in a climate-controlled thing, like paper or their gowns.
The curatorial building is climate controlled.
But they also need space for stuff that is not, it needs to be undercover, but it doesn't need climate control.
Well, one of the things I had originally asked was, could we have Assabet build a second curatorial building that was climatized? There's not enough, next to
Okay.
the existing one. There's not enough room on the site because we have a drainage problem going on already because there's too much impervious surface. So unfortunately, that's a no, but something to look at. I know that's been mentioned as an idea. Also, using that lot as parking for the rail trail, which I know is highly controversial, has been discussed as well. That was brought up by the Conservation Commission. And I think
Do we
that's it.
actually own that lot? Have we confirmed that? Because I know
We
that
do, but
was.
I
we
thought
have
that-
a
Yes, we do.
shared easement with the neighbor. The
Yeah.
neighbor has a right of first refusal if we were to sell it.
And
Um,
the water gets turned off.
Correct.
I would say that if that building is gonna be disturbed at all, the DEP is gonna have a problem with that.
Does it have a release tracking number on it already?
No, but everything's all contaminated. All that
See,
soil
they used to store the salt
Mhm.
right next to the town barn.
and all the oil and all the gas and everything, all the
Because they
trucks.
did, the highway did all their own repairs,
Yeah, power washed all the vehicles. That soil's,
contaminated.
yeah.
I did explore the path of
just pave it
sale.
over it. I know.
Sorry, and spoke with a municipal auctioneer. They only will take on certain properties that they feel are viable. They did not feel like that one was a viable one for sale, so that seems off the table. But that one's kind of a to be determined discussion. So actually on Monday, the select board discussed that building, 1870 Town Hall, and the Bullard House with the Historical Commission and the Planning Board. There's some ideas that came up. Seems to be some interest in potentially leasing out 1870 to a company that could help revive it or do some cultural activities in there. We're not really positioned as a government entity to run a function hall. So there was some
True.
discussion
Well,
there.
prior to COVID, it did very well.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it was
So-
always.
Put
busy.
it-
Whatever,
in
whatever
charge of
happened
it
to
again.
Yeah,
we
the
tried.
steps being fixed?
Oh, that's a fun one. So that was a CPA project for design, and the idea was to reset and repair the historic stairs and the landing, the handrails, and then also to the left, if you're facing the building and the stairs are in front of you, to the left to put a commercial staircase with a small sidewalk to the driveway, so when people park on Woodward and they don't need the elevator, but they can't go up the hill,
Right.
they'd be able to get in and avoid those stairs. $537,000
Wow.
I thought we had already had the money approved for that.
for the design.
Oh. And whatever happened to the curbing that was supposed to be done all around
Yeah,
here?
I will follow, I started an email to Fred,
$75,000,
I'll
yeah.
follow up with that too.
That one's supposed to be done with,
Last summer.
yeah.
Yeah, we're extremely lean in all of our staffing, particularly on highway. So we've actually got 2 employees out right now on leave. So it's a
Back to
challenging
Lincoln
time.
Street.
Mhm.
Are they gonna build another building there?
My understanding is no, they would rehab, like gut and rehab the existing
How many
buildings, so
people
they,
can you put in there? Just one
single
family?
family home, yeah.
Just one.
900 square feet is the maximum.
Maximum size of house?
You mean for an accessory dwelling unit?
No, for a small home,
Oh, gotcha.
for an ADU.
Right, but that's not an ADU because it's not attached or, it doesn't have another structure on the property.
How big, that's just a small lot.
It's
It
a
is,
half
They
an
don't-
acre.
They don't even have room for a septic or a well on there, do they?
I believe they have room, they don't have it.
Oh.
It also doesn't have a driveway, but there are organizations like Habitat for Humanity that will put in a bid through an RFP process on that. And as got discussed at town meeting, at least 10% of all CPA funds have to go to affordable housing.
Yeah.
So
That'd be
they've
nice
identified
to
that.
nice to see if that was used.
Yeah, they've identified that as, they looked at a lot of town-owned properties. A lot of them are under conservation restrictions, so you
Yeah.
can't do anything there. Or they have other issues, as you
Yeah, I
discussed, like,
thought, Topman's, is it Topman? On Walnut Street? He used to have the flowers and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
His property is, available.
That's where the greenhouse is in the right.
Yeah, except, what, like you say, the,
Soil,
soil's probably contaminated.
fertilizers.
Anybody know what they're doing on Carter Street, behind 24 Carter Street, where they've like demolished all those rocks and put a road in?
no idea.
Oh, that's just stuff somebody's, right behind the garage there.
That's private property, right?
That's private, yeah.
Is
That
it
has nothing
private?
to do.
It's not part of the
No,
conservation land that
No.
was bought?
conservation didn't buy that.
Are you talking about the Lyman parking area?
No,
Lyman Street?
No.
Okay, because
Nope.
that's where
Carter Street,
conservation, no,
right.
I know where
Carter-
Carter Street is.
Carter
but
Street, conservation bought that.
72, Carter
um,
Street.
Right.
Yeah, around the corner,
They're
across
supposed to
from
build
Wheeler's.
2 houses too, right?
we're talking about the one right just past Clem's garage on the left.
Yep,
Yeah,
Those are house lots.
no,
Yes.
Yes.
Two of them.
That's not town property.
no, that's town conservation bought it.
I'd have to
When?
check, so they bought 72 Carter. If that's 72 Carter, then that
I
would be
think
the one.
72 Carter is across the street.
Yeah, it's across the street.
So if that's the case, then that's not the
Wait, now I'm
town-owned
confused.
property.
No, that's not town owned.
Oh, yeah, we bought it through,
We bought 72 Carter. I can't tell you exactly where
the
that
whole
is.
hill,
I can Google.
Yeah.
all the way to the,
Yeah, 'cause I.
Yeah,
Oh, the tower?
House, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought that was house lots.
no,
The 2 house lots and one existing house, somebody moved in, yeah.
yeah,
It was all part of it.
Pacific.
Pacific?
We paid
His last name is
$450,000 for that
Pacific.
one,
Yeah.
This is
He seems nice.
72 Carter.
Yeah,
Can you
Oh,
see?
that's different, okay.
that's what I'm talking about.
According to Google, which, okay, that's why I wanted
Yeah.
a visual
They
confirmation,
bought
because
that,
I'm like,
but
The side piece is the entrance, is an easement up to the back.
Yeah.
but there's
And
land,
that
there's
they
land
acquired.
past that, that's not a part of that, right?
Correct.
That's where they're talking about the 2 house lots.
Oh, see, I thought that was
Before-
all part of that, because
I thought
that's
it was
that's
Part
wetlands.
to get water, so
Yeah,
that you could get water into the center of town.
I don't know. I'm not.
That's why I'm concerned about the complete streets. Have they taken into consideration that this might happen in 7 to 10 years?
that what might happen?
That they would decide to put water in
Oh, and have to rip out all the stuff that you've done.
Yeah. It's up behind the town hall.
But
So,
that doesn't come out onto,
You could get into it, you go around the corner on Highlands, on Carter Street,
Yep.
and then you could go up. I believe there is an easement there.
there is,
There is.
or we own that land.
I'd
I
have to
think.
look
Yes.
into it. I
But
don't know.
the rock work that appears to be being done, I thought was on that conservation land that went up the hill behind the powder house.
I
Even
don't-
though it's on, the rock work is on Carter Street.
I don't know.
No, okay.
I
I thought
thought-
it was the
I
wells
thought-
doing.
I
Since
thought
I
that
don't
72
drive,
Carter
it's-
Street was
yes.
there, and then there was chunk of land between that and,
The next house, yeah.
and that house which was Spalding's, Jeff Spalding built that house. That right there was, I understood, wasn't the town land, that was enough for 2 house lots.
I thought
That's what
that,
I was told.
I thought that we bought that land with the theory that if we couldn't pay for it, there might be 2 house lots
Oh, okay.
in that front, but it gets really wet.
That
On
doesn't
the
stop, that
bottom,
doesn't stop
on the
anything
At
else.
the- Yeah, no, not
Yeah,
at the
right.
top,
Mike
but at the
Sawyer.
bottom.
Huh?
It's
Ask
right
Mike
across the
Sawyer.
street from
Yeah.
that like marshy
Oh, I
stuff,
see.
right
Yeah,
next,
yeah, yeah.
between the garage and the old town
Yeah,
barn,
yeah,
that like marsh/fire pond
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, okay, next, meeting. We just have school, although you guys
How
can.
come Highway didn't submit anything this year?
I think Fred's overloaded, to be honest, and he's got a backlog of projects, but that would be my guess. I don't wanna speak for him directly. I did ask, and I don't believe that he had the capacity or the opportunity to pull that information together. I did say if he wanted to submit it a little bit late, that would be possible, but, you know, he's down 2/5 of his staff,
Really?
so, at the moment. Not permanently. They're all on leave.
Oh, okay.
Well, if there was something he needed, he could always pass over at town meeting.
Yep.
It's just, a year is a year.
Oh, I understand. I will mention it to him again.
So when are we looking for the next meeting?
Yeah, next,
2 weeks?
We could,
Other than that, it's Christmas and New Year's.
Thursday the 18th, 7 p.m. I'll see if I can get school to attend. You guys can confirm for me we have not already talked to school, right? I feel crazy, but
We
it
just,
feels
we
We
talked to school
talked
for
to
the
them.
roof.
about the roof,
Yes.
right?
That was it.
Yeah. Okay, that is it.
That was
would
it.
have been early November, right?
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
I
Like a
just-
month ago.
I don't know. This stuff looks familiar, but maybe it's because I read it all and now it just looks familiar.
Some of it's carryover from previous
Yeah.
years. It's been on their 5-year plan.
Yeah. Okay.
but once again, they should be filling in what they expect over the next 5 years.
I agree. I would recommend you reiterate that to them because I tried.
And if you talk to them, tell them if they're gonna want stuff, to bring quotes.
Okay.
Because if they come in again and without quotes, I won't even talk to them.
I
Not
think
being
they got
rude.
that message loud and clear, so.
I hope so. You know, I understand it's gonna go out, but just, you know, I reiterate us all the time, but to have one is better than none, 2 is better than 1.
Sure.
And now we realize it's going out to bids, but let's keep it honest. But, and all says too, it's tough getting anybody to just do bids now.
Or quotes, unless they know that they're getting the work, and even then, it's still not a guarantee.
And that's the problem, you know. But the thing of it is in this day and age, you would think somebody would be out there giving these quotes out there because if nobody else does, there's a good chance they're gonna get it.
Any other questions, concerns, thoughts before we adjourn?
Are we gonna see you every time at a meeting or no?
Would you like to see me every time?
Yes, please.
Okay. I did have a family commitment, and then unfortunately I was under the weather, so I do apologize for
No,
missing
it's
you
all
guys
right.
for a little while, but I am happy to come.
Yeah.
If you would like to see my smiling face, I'll be
Yeah.
there.
It means I write you a shorter email later.
Fair enough.
Normally, I'm like, Kristen, we have all these questions.
Hey, listen, if I can make that easier, I'm happy to do so.
Okay, I'm gonna adjourn us.
So moved.
Okay, fantastic, 8:22 PM. Just in time for Eloise to get out of here.